Hola estudiantes. Hoy vamos a aprender sobre los artículos indefinidos. Okay, indefinite articles. So we've already learned about definite articles. We're going to review those, and then I think learning about indefinite articles should be pretty easy for you. So the first thing that we need to remember is, what is a noun? A noun is a person, a place, a thing, or an idea, such as un amigo, una ciudad, un libro, or una idea. That should be pretty easy, right? Next, we need to remember our definite articles. These are the 4 ways to say the in Spanish. We know that the feminine singular the is la, the masculine singular the is el, the feminine plural the is las, and the masculine plural the is los. So if you had forgotten those, there's your review. Those are called definite articles because they refer to one definite thing, okay? Something specific, such as the chair. There's another type of articles, though, and those are indefinite articles. Indefinite articles refer to a non-specific thing, a chair, a friend, an enemy, but not a really specific friend, just a friend in general. I wish I had a friend, not my friend Jenna, okay? So a or an in English, those are the 2 singular indefinite articles. In Spanish, you say una or un. The feminine singular indefinite article is una, or the masculine singular indefinite article is un. Or you can just remember that if you want to say something, you say un or una. The plurals mean some, as in some houses, some friends of mine. Those are unas and unos. The feminine plural is unas, the masculine plural is unos. Okay? So how can you tell? This is review again. Our feminine nouns usually end in a. So una puerta or una ventana would mean a door or a window. All our nouns that end in ion are feminine, such as una decoración, una religión, and una televisión. Those mean a decoration, a religion, a television, as in, I wish I had a television, but not specifically that television over there. Okay, they're indefinite articles. And we need to remember that many nouns that end with z or d are feminine, such as una ciudad or una actriz, a city, an actress. Our masculine nouns usually end in o, such as un cuaderno, un perro, or un bolígrafo. A notebook, a dog, a pen. Does anyone have a pen? Not the pen is red, okay? Indefinite articles. Many nouns that end in e or other letters are also masculine nouns. But remember, that's not all of them, just many of them. It's your best guess. Like un pupitre, un estudiante, un túnel. Okay. And finally, we need to review how to make a noun plural. If the noun ends in a vowel, you add an S, and in this case, we're going to change un to unos and una to unas. Un libro, a book, turns into unos libros, some books. Un tigre, a tiger, turns into unos tigres, some tigers. Una abuela turns into unas abuelas, some grandmas. And una ventana, a window, turns into unas ventanas, some windows. If the noun ends in a consonant, okay, something not a vowel, you add es and you still change un to unos and una to unas. So, una decoración, a decoration, turns into unas decoraciones, some decorations. Una ciudad, a city, turns into unas ciudades, some cities. And finally, un doctor, a doctor, turns into unos doctores, some doctors. Okay? You see how we added the es? That's because there's a consonant here, and typically in Spanish the pattern is consonant-vowel, not consonant-consonant. So let's do some practice now. I'll give you a noun. First, I want you to say how you would say a cat, okay? The singular form, gato, a cat. That's right, it's un gato. But what if there were some cats, as in there are some cats in my yard? How would you make it plural? That's right, you'd say unos gatos. Let's try another. Puerta, door. How would you say a door? There is a door in this room. That's right, you'd say una puerta, because it is feminine. What if there were some doors in the room? How would you make it plural? That's right, you'd say unas puertas. Luz, light. Where is a light? That's right, it's una luz. It ends in Z, and this one is feminine. What if there were some lights in the distance? How would you make it plural? It would be unas luces. Now, this one's a little weird. The Z's turn into C's when you make it plural, but it preserves the same sound. Una luz, unas luces. And if you were to spell it with a Z, you wouldn't be alone in making that spelling error. Let's try another. Profesor. I have a teacher. Would be un profesor. Unless your teacher was a girl, then you would say una profesora. What if you had some teachers? The plural form is unos profesores. You add an es because there's a consonant here. You wouldn't say profesors. You'd say profesores. Okay, how would you say there is a river in our town? Rio. Hay un río en nuestra ciudad. And if there were some rivers, as in there are some rivers in North America, unos ríos. Okay, another example, papel. Take a paper as you come in the door. You would say un papel. And what if you dropped some papers on the ground? How would you say that? That's right, unos papeles. Montaña, mountain. How would you say there is a mountain in the distance? That's right, you'd say hay una montaña. But what if, as there often are, there were some mountains in the distance, plural? How would you say that? Unas montañas. we're almost done. Let's do one or two more examples. Restaurante. How would you say, I want to go to a restaurant? That's right. You'd say, quiero ir a un restaurante. It's masculine because it ends with an E. And what if there were some great restaurants in your town? How would you say some restaurants? Unos restaurantes. Okay, last one. What if there was an explosion? How would you say that? That's right. It ends in ion, so it's feminine. Una explosión. But what if, oh no, there were some explosions over there? How would you say some explosions? Correcto. The plural form is unas explosiones. All right, I hope this helped clarify indefinite articles. We'll practice in class and make sure that you write down your notes. See you tomorrow.